Welcome back, Careblazer. Today I want to talk about 3 symptoms in dementia that are confusing and that Careblazers ask me about. Those are delusions, hallucinations, and illusions. Hey there, Careblazer. I wanted to pop in real quick before you continue watching the video. I am hosting a series of free online care classes. I only do this a few times a year and it's coming up in October. So basically what I'm doing is I am offering a training on how you can reduce your dementia caregiver stress without needing any extra time, money, or hired help. I'll also be talking about what you can do to help improve, reduce, or even prevent some of those really difficult dementia behaviors your loved one may be doing. So there's a link below this video that says registration for the live care class. All you have to do is click on that link, fill out your information, and you will be registered for the class. The class size is limited to 100 people per class, and there's 4 classes I'm offering. I hope you can make it to one of those. I will be staying on live at the end of every class to answer your questions. So if you have specific questions you'd love to see me answer about your situation, about dementia, about anything caregiving, join the live care class and I'd be happy to answer them for you or do my best answering them for you. I hope to see you there. All right, now let's get back to your video. Delusions are very strong beliefs, fixed beliefs that do not change no matter how much evidence is presented that proves the belief wrong. No matter what reality is, no matter what rational arguments you have, no matter what evidence you present to your loved one, they believe what they believe no matter what, and there's nothing you can do to change it. There are different types of delusions, such as erotomanic, grandiose, jealous, persecutory, and somatic. One of the most common types that occurs in dementia can be really hard for the Careblazer, and that's the jealous type, the type where which leads to your loved one feeling like you are having an affair, that you're cheating on them, that you don't love them, and they just kind of accuse you of this over and over and over again, even if you would never do that, you've never done that, and no matter what you say, your loved one's going to believe what they want to believe. It's a common type of delusion, this jealous delusion. The other one that's pretty common in dementia is the persecutory delusion, which is where they believe others are spying on them, following them, those kinds of things. It's also possible for delusions to be completely bizarre. So while it is possible that somebody could be following your loved one or that you could be cheating on your loved one, there's such a thing as bizarre delusions, that's what they're called, where it's physically impossible. There's no possible way something like that could occur. And that would be like, for instance, your loved one thinking that somebody took the organs out of their body and put somebody else's organs in their body, yet there are no scars or markings on their body that they've been opened up. Like, it's physically impossible. So there's also that category. Hallucinations are another symptom that can occur in dementia, and this is where the person sees something in the environment or perceives something in their environment despite it not really being there. Hallucinations are very vivid, very clear, very detailed. The person is experiencing them. Even though other people can't see or hear or feel or smell whatever hallucination that person is having, that person is experiencing the hallucination. So it's just important to know this is not something the person's making up in their mind. The person is experiencing it even though others are not. And just like with delusions, there are different types of hallucinations. So you can have visual hallucinations, auditory hallucinations, gustatory hallucinations, olfactory hallucinations, and tactile hallucinations. One of the most common hallucinations that occur in dementia are the visual hallucinations. A lot of times people with dementia might see little kids or insects or animals, and they do literally see them. So when you're trying to say it's not there, nothing's there, they're going to get angry and upset because their brain is actually seeing that thing. And then there are illusions. Illusions are basically something is in the environment, but your loved one interpreted it incorrectly. So for example, there might be a crumbled pile of sheets on the bed, and your loved one says, "Oh my gosh, there's a wolf on the bed." But when you look at the bed, you just see that there's a crumpled pile of sheets, and that looks like it could be a wolf. And by turning on the lights and flattening out the sheet, your loved one realizes, oh, okay, that's not a wolf. So that's kind of more just incorrectly perceiving things that are in the environment that everybody can see. So the important thing to know is that these symptoms, hallucinations and delusions, they're common in other mental health conditions, but they can also happen in dementia. And it's very important to know that they are experiencing them, that it is true for them, that they're not just making it up. This is their reality. This is why when people try to say to their loved ones that they're wrong or it's not true or something's not there, they get really upset and really worked up, because in their mind and their brain is telling them that all this is true. And that is why trying to reason and rationalize with people who have dementia, and specifically people who have delusions and hallucinations with dementia, really gets out of hand quickly and people get really upset. It's because you can't reason and rationalize with them. Their brain is telling them something, and that's what they're believing. The best thing that you can do if your loved one is having hallucinations or delusions is to comfort them, validate them, and then try to redirect and distract them and move them somewhere else. Try to resist that urge to tell them that they're wrong or that nothing's there or that whatever they're thinking doesn't exist. Try to avoid that urge, and whenever you can, just redirect them, move them somewhere else in the home, tell them you'll take care of it, tell them, you're there for them, it's going to be okay, and then find something else to engage in, trying to move their attention away from whatever it is that they're focusing attention on. So that's for delusions and hallucinations. When it comes to illusions, right, that's just a misperception in the environment. You can absolutely offer a gentle correction and say, oh, that crumpled pile of sheets, let me go see, flatten it out, turn on the light, say, oh man, that did look like a wolf, it was just sheets. In illusions, they are going to be able to accept the feedback, right? So this is just where they see something and they misperceived it, and you can actually see where maybe that happened. It's more like a vision and the way the brain interpreted it. Careblazer, there are so many confusing symptoms that come along with dementia, and these are just some of those confusing symptoms, but I hope it gives you a little bit of understanding about what might be going on with your loved one and just how scary that really would be, or just how hurtful that really would be if your brain was all of a sudden seeing things that didn't exist or believing things that were scary or untrue or hurtful. Next week, I'm going to talk about delusions, specifically the delusion of your loved one thinking that you're being unfaithful to them, that you no longer love them, that you're cheating on them. This is a really common one that happens. It's very hurtful for the careblazer who's trying to do everything they can to care for their loved one, but constantly being accused of being unfaithful. So I'm going to talk about that next week, because I think many of you might be struggling with that. Careblazer, thank you so much for being here. If you have any follow-up questions about delusions or hallucinations or illusions, leave them in a comment below. I'd be happy to try to follow up and maybe do a follow-up video if there's still any confusion about them. I'll be back next week with another video, Careblazer. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that red subscribe button on your screen so you don't miss my video announcements. It's completely free to hit that red button, okay? Bye.